नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया। Myself, JVN Dr. Astha Sikarwar, Assistant Professor, Department of Organ of Medicine, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today's topic is discrimination as to maintaining external causes and surgical cases. This topic is from JT Kent Philosophy. As in fourth paragraph, Hahnemann says the physician is likewise a preserver of health if he knows the things that derange health and cause disease and how to remove them from persons in health. The homeopathic physician is a failure if he does not discriminate. One of the most superficial things in it is to say that persons about to be made sick from bad habits should break off their bad habits. They should move from damp houses. They should plug their sewers or have traps put in if they are being poisoned with severe gas. It is somebody's duty to do these things, but especially the physicians, and we might almost let it go with the saying to prevent coffee drinking, vinegar drinking, etc. is a superficial thing, but in this way he may preserve health. To illustrate it in a general way, we might say that one who is suffering from concise does not need a surgeon. You might say he needs a priest. One who is sick in his vital force needs a physician. He who has a lacerated wound or a broken bone or deformities has need of a surgeon. If his tooth must come out, he must have a surgeon dentist. It is folly to give medicine for a lacerated wound to attempt to close up a deep wound with a dose of a remedy. Injuries from knives, hooks, etc. affect the house the man lives in and must be attended to by the surgeon. When the gross exterior conditions which are brought on from exterior causes complicated with the inner man, then medicine is required. If the physician acts also as a surgeon, he must know when he is to perform his functions as a surgeon and when he must keep back as a surgeon. He should sew up a wound but should not burn out an ulcer with nitrate of silver. If he is not able to discriminate and on every ulcer he plasters his external application, he is not a preserver of health. When signs and symptoms are present, the physician is needed because these come from the interior to the exterior. But if his condition is brought on only from external causes, the physician must delay action and let the surgeon do his work. The physician must know the things that derange health and remove them. If a flank of an old tooth causes headache day and night, that cause must be removed. To prescribe when a splinter is pressing on a nerve and leave the splinter in would be foolishness and criminal negligence. The aim should be to discriminate and remove external causes and turn into order internal causes. A man comes from treatment and he is living on deviled crabs and lobster salad and other trash too rich for the stomach of a dog. If we keep on giving nux vomica to that man, we are foolish. If a man who has been living viciously stops it, he can be helped. But so long as that external cause is not removed, the physician is not using discrimination. Vicious habits, bad living, living in damp houses are externals and must be removed. When a man avoids these externals, is cleanly, carefully, chooses his food, has a comfortable home, and is still miserable, he must be treated from within. Every physician does not discriminate thus, for if he did, there would not be so many politics and murderous external applications used. Among those who do not discriminate are those who apply medicine externally and give them internally. Now, fifth paragraph which reads, useful to the physician in assisting him to cure are the particulars of the most probable exciting cause of the acute disease, as also the most significant points in the whole history of the chronic disease to enable him to discover its fundamental cause, which is generally due to a chronic mass. In these investigations, the ascertainable physical constitution of the patient, his moral and intellectual character, his occupation, mode of living and habits, his social and domestic relations, his age, sexual functions, etc., are to be taken into consideration. Acute affections are divided into two classes. First, those that are miasmatic, which are true diseases. Second, those that may be called mimicking sickness. इसको हम indisposition कहते हैं. The latter have no definite cause, are produced by external causes such as living in damp houses, grief, bad clothing, etc. And the causes being removed, the patient recovers. But the first, the acute mias, have a distinct course to run. They have a prodromal period, a period of progress, and a period of decline, if not so severe as to cause the patient's death. Measles, scarlet fever, whooping cough, smallpox, etc. are the examples of acute mass. The physician must also be acquainted with the chronic mass, psora, syphilis, and psychosis, which we will study later. These have, like the acute, a prodromal period and a period of progress, but unlike the acute, they have no period of decline. When the times and circumstances are favorable, the chronic mass become acquiescent, but adverse times rose it into activity, and each time it is roused, the condition is worse than it was at the previous acceleration. In this paragraph, Hahnemann teaches that the chronic mias are the fundamental cause of the acute mias, which is to say, if there were no chronic mia, there would be no acute. It is in the very nature of a chronic mias to predispose man to acute diseases, and the acute diseases are as fuel added to an unquenchable fire. Acute diseases then exit from specific causes cooperating with susceptibility. We do not recognize measles or scarlet fever except in sick people. When there were no children on the earth susceptible to measles, we would have no measles, and if there were no chronic mias, there would be no susceptibility. Sora is the cause of all contagion. Sora is the mother of all diseases. If man had not, if man had not had Sora, he would not have had the other two mias, that is psychosis and syphilis. Sora is the first one. Sora is the base for other two. The physicians of the present day do not comprehend Hahnemann's definition of Sora. They think it meant an itch vesicle or some sort of tetar. In previous lecture, uh, illustration of civil government and said if our civil government is evil in its center, it will be in disorder in its outermost. So if a man is evil in his very interior, that is in his wills and understanding, and the result of this evil flows into his life, he is in a state of disorder. Let man exist for thousands of years thinking false theories and bringing them into his life, and his life will become one of disorder. Later, we will be able to show that this disordered condition of the economy is the underlying and fundamental state of the nature of Sora, which ultimates upon the body in tissue changes. When man is insane in his interior, it is only a question of time and his body will take on the results of insanity, because the interior of the man forms the exterior. अंदर जो भी चल रहा है वो बाहर आने लगता है. तो हमारा क्या था? From center to circumference. If the interior is insane, the exterior is distorted and is only suitable to the kind of insane or disordered life that dwells in it. False in the interior, false in the exterior, so that the body becomes as it were false. This is speaking from analogy, but you will come to see that it is actually true. Each and everything that appears before the eyes is but the representative of its cause, and there is no cause except in the interior. Cause does not flow from outermost of man to the interior, because man is protected against such a state of affairs. Causes exist in such substantial form that they cannot be seen by the eyes. There is no disease that exists of which the cause is known to man by the eye or by the microscope. Causes are infinitely too fine to be observed by an instrument of precision. They are so immaterial that they correspond to and operate upon the interior nature of man, and they are ultimated in the body in form of tissue changes that are recognized by the eye. Such tissue changes must be understood as the results of disease only, or the physician will never perceive what disease causes, what disease is, what potentization is, or what the nature of life is. The more that disease ultimates itself in the outward form, the coarser it is, and the less it points the physician to the remedy. The more mental it is, the more signs there are to direct the physician to the remedy. You have to consider both internal and external man. That is, you have to consider causes that operate in this disordered innermost, and then the ultimates which constitute the outward appearance, particularly when the affection is chronic. These two things must be considered: the nature or ease of the disease and its appearance. The study of the disease as of fundamental cause and apparent cause is an important subject. We cannot study cause unless we have first understood government associated with law. Hence, recall to your mind that the law directs and experience confirms. Law is nothing but an orderly state of government from center to circumference, a government in which there is a head. You show me a company that has no caption, and you show me a disorderly company. Other, sorry, order exists from the highest to the lowest, from center to circumference. If man cannot see this, he cannot see the necessity of harmony from center to circumference of government which has one head, and hence it would be useless for him to study the human body for the purpose of applying medicine to it. It must be accepted in this form, or it will not satisfy man. It will not sustain his expectation. It will not do what he expects it to do. It will be only accomplish what allopathy has accomplished, with the establishment of confusion upon the economy. सो हर होम्योपैथिक फिजिशियन को ये पता होना चाहिए किस केस में कब क्या करना है. अगर किसी केस में सर्जरी इंक्लूड है, सर्जन का रोल है, तो हमें उसको वहां भेजना चाहिए. उस पे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स नहीं करने चाहिए, क्योंकि आगे जाके ये एक्सपेरिमेंट्स उस पेशेंट के लिए बहुत गलत साबित हो सकते हैं, उसकी कंडीशन और वर्स हो सकती है. सो हमें डिफरेंशिएट करना आना चाहिए कहाँ पर एक्सटर्नल कॉज है, हम उसको रिमूव करके वहाँ हेल्प कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जहाँ एक्चुअली सर्जरी रिक्वायर है हमें वहाँ उसको भेजना चाहिए सर्जन के पास और आगे प्रोसीड करना चाहिए. This session powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidya Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention it in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.